Ugh. All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here. We're live. We're taking your questions. Get them in the chat box. Make sure you answer the weekly poll. Don't forget to check out the cultural mystery link of the week down in the description. But yeah, let's dive into this for everyone. So, yeah, nothing crazy on the wheel. No big prizes this week again. So, working on some other stuff. But let's see what we got. Okay. Let's see. We're going to start with this super chat from Hano. RIP to the house. Yes, for anyone that doesn't know, the house Boardshop, corporate overlords pulled the plug on it. They're running a sale for extra 40% off stuff that's already marked down. Use the code savings. There is a link down in the description if you want to give me affiliate sales. If not, a lot of the good stuff's already been picked clean, but there's still deals to be had in there. You can probably find a split board and bindings for dirt ass cheap. All right, so pick a random question and give it a spin. Let's see what we got here. Why is Tommy Bennett retracting messages? Okay. All right, let's see. Brian B asks Tommy Bennett, can we get a bird recipe? Yeah, Tommy, what's your best bird recipe? Are you more like a Cajun carrion, or do you like honey mustard hummingbird? I want to know. The people want to know. Like, what is the best bird recipe if you're not going to eat it raw like you do? Okay. All right. Let me take this one from Ian. I've been having front foot pain on the side near my pinky toe. That area after getting new boots, I'm still having it. I moved from 12 degrees to 18 and still having pain at times. Not sure what it is. Okay, so it's probably something to do with pressure, like right here on the side of the. Actually, hang on. Because if we're going to do this, we might as well do this right. So you're getting pain right here on the pinky toe and at the joint right there. So either the boot is too tight right there at the metatarsal. So you don't have good footbeds, or your footbeds are sitting too high. They're pushing you up a little bit. So it's tight and it hasn't packed out. So what you've got going on there is you're getting this pressure point there. So if you have an aftermarket footbed, pull it out. If you got a Dremel or something, grind under the bottom along the side of the footbed so it sinks down a little bit. Could be that. It could be as simple as pulling the liner out and slicing the liner right there on the side. Heat mold might actually do an issue on it. It could be that you don't have an aftermarket insole and that you actually need something in there to help protect it. And yes, I do have a foot. I don't know where the rest of the skeleton is. It smells funky too. Ugh. But yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, so we got a super chat from Uncivil Engineer. Oh wait, actually I owe Ian a spin. So let's go with the spin. What do we got? Ooh, Tommy B fact. He trains squirrels in the off season. True story. All right, so Uncivil Engineer with the super chat. I finally remembered to use the affiliate links, Spin for Snowkill. Yeah, affiliate links are always in the descriptions of any of the reviews, pretty much any video. So we do make a little bit of money off that. Ooh, yeah, drink some Malort. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see. All right, Centauri 2410. Hi, Aaron. Looking to get a ride Peace Seeker for charging and turning. 185 pounds, size 8, 147 or 151. If you really want to charge, go with the 51. If you want to turn a little bit better, go with the 47. Okay. And then we got Mark Tanamura. What's the best for cleaning Gore-Tex and anything for treating Gore-Tex after washing? Nick Wax. I think it's Nick Wax. makes like a tech wash specifically for Gore-Tex and for treating it. So that should be something that you should check out. Also, for anyone that doesn't follow me on Instagram, I got these awesome stickers in the mail today. Say no to dope. Kelvin pissing on dope. Derp. Don't do dope. And nope. And I'm loving every minute of these. They're fucking amazing. All right, so we're going to take this question from Sean Cody Wiseheart. Real question is, what happens to Chamonix? I thought they were owned by the house. Could be wrong. I do that a lot. No, you're right. I actually talked to Pete, who used to own IPP, and he's been running Chamonix and Evil for the house. And he was like, dude, we got all the stuff in for the next year. We were lining stuff up. We were finally dialing in the bindings, the boards, the boots, everything. Like we were going in a right direction for everything, and we just got the rug pulled out from under us, basically. Also, what's everyone think of that new Megadeth sitting over there? You guys digging that? You like that? Megadeth? Maybe I'll take it out of the wrapper for you. Okay. Matt Tizzolo. Avran, my wife just picked up a 148 offshore Snow Shapes, Snurfs Up. Very stoked and was wondering if you had any binding recommendations. She's currently looking at the women's Union Ultra and the Rome Katana. If she's looking for more surf and a lot of lateral play, that's where the Ultra will really come in. But it's a very soft binding, so you're going to get a lot of ankle movement. A little more power driven out of the Katana. If she's looking for something in the middle of that, it would probably be the Union's. I think there's a women's Strata. Oh no, it's not called the. Is it still called? No, it's not called the Strata, but the women's version of that. What the hell is that? Or maybe it is the women's Strata. I'm brain farting on that. The other thing that I would look at would be maybe looking at like a K2 Bedford. That would be another one. All right. Okay. Well, we got a super chat here from our moderator, Carlos Enriquez. Been crushing hard pack all week. You and me both, bud. I took today off. I'm ready for a pow day tomorrow. Everybody getting their daily stoke. Fuck, man. Yesterday was probably the most brutal I've seen copper. I came out of the park and the ice on the run out was blue. It literally looked like East Coast conditions, like boilerplate. I could see my reflection and I was like, this is not good. Like, we need a reset really bad. Ooh, ouch. Loser. Okay. And we got our boy Ian with the PSA of the day. Hashtag spray skiers. Always spray skiers. Also, somebody reported last week's live stream for me evidently being too mean. They kind of limited my monetization on it. Oops. Ooh, but subscribe or else. All right. We're going to take this one from Theo Flo. How much can I sell my first gen Mega Merc to fund a new Gamma? As much as someone's willing to pay for it. I mean, you put the price on it. All you can do is say yes or no. So that's where that is. Okay. Spring break and there's sirens and shit going on. All right. So we're going to take this super chat from Beziums. Dustin was rubbed. Yeah, for anyone that didn't catch super natural selection there, I strongly do believe that Dustin Craven actually should have been in the finals. I think the only reason that Travis scored higher was possibly that backflip would be the only thing, but Dustin's line was way gnarlier that he chose in the finals on that for natural selection. Spoilers if no one's watched it already. But yeah. I mean, overall, natural selection was ridiculous. Like, if you did not catch that yet, you need to go watch it. I fast forwarded through all the talking bits and still spent 2 hours just watching everyone's lines. It was amazing. Very amazing. Stoked that Zoe won again. She's really proving that she is the new face of women's snowboarding and the direction that they're going in. Fucking phenomenal. She's a powerhouse. But yeah. Did anyone else think that Ferg was gonna die on his first lap? The whole time I'm like sitting there watching the TV and I'm just like, oh my god, he's gonna like no. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, go this way. Like you're gonna die. You're gonna die. So yeah, natural selection was absolutely ludicrous. Like amazing to watch. I hope you guys got to check it out. So yeah. Okay, give you a spin there. What do we got? Where are we going? Ooh, say nope.com. You know how to hit me up, and I'll get that to you. Mail. Anyone that won sticker packs last week's live stream, they went out today, so probably get them by next week. Okay, Steve Ishida. Yo, Aaron, I'm going to Steamboat for the first time in a week. Dude, they're about to get hammered again. Going to bring the Mega Merkin Orca for this trip. Any recommendations for your favorite tree runs, and how about in-town restaurants? Get off the chair, look at the trees. If it looks like you can go in it, go in it. I'm not blowing out any of the special spots. Sorry, guys. As far as restaurants go, kind of depends what you want. There's a lot of really good ones, but let's see. There's Double Z downtown for barbecue. Got to go by the taco stand. Rex's was always good when I was up there. I haven't really been to a lot of stuff up there in a while. Like a lot of stuff has kind of changed. So, all right. Griffin Pritchard, I want to get a battalion board, but I'm worried that I'll get too used to 3BT and then not like riding any other board. Like if I got too used to it, you might not. You never know. Fucking go for it. Oh, this is a good one from Tanky. What's the best way to get the stank out of your boots? So the first thing you got to do, pull your liners and your footbeds out and separate your footbeds from your liners. Take them in a zip. Put your footbeds in a big Ziploc bag. Suck the air out of it, or push the air out. Seal it. Throw it in the freezer for 48 hours. Then get those oven bags for like cooking a turkey and throw your liners in it. Twist it. Get the air out. Twist it. Throw those in the freezer for 48 hours. Then while that's going on, take some foot funk spray or whatever powder and throw that into the shell of the boot and like really just let that boot dry out. And what you're going to do is you just want that to really, really dry out. The big thing with combating boot funk is you're not dry. It's called Dry-Sure boot dryers. They're just giant silica packs basically with a exoskeleton that you can just slide into your boots. I put them in my boots every single day. They suck up everything. I don't have wicked boot funk. Like back in the day, I can remember how bad my boots smelled. I remember one time my German Shepherd Oscar like took a whiff of it, put all his fur up, growled at it, and was snapping it. Now Baroness, my Malinois, she walks by and she'll like lick my boot. She'll just be like, tasty. And then she walks away. Like no fear of that thing whatsoever. I mean, she is a different breed of dog, but still, just saying. Okay. All right, we got one from Loop-de-Doo. Would the Atlas Pro be too overkill for resort riding? No, if you want performance, you're going to be fine. Stop asking me about flex questions. Board flex ratings are not universal. It's an imaginary fucking number that's not quantitative. Like, oh, it's a 7 of 10. What the fuck does that mean? It's stiffer than middle of the road flex, but it's got these flex points. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. So, yeah. Ugh. All right, we got Ginger Boardman V2. Intermediate friend of mine is looking for a new board for replacement for a 2013 Ride Agenda. Oh my God. Mostly riding groomers in New England, 220 pounds, 6 feet tall, size 12 boots, 160 Warden wide. Yes, oh my God, yes. Go get him that. He'll be way happier. Daniel Ayala, should I get the Ride Agenda for 250 on the house? I'm an intermediate level rider. I don't know. If you want it, buy it. Okay, Jeff Wine. Hey, Averin, also looking for a park board. Was thinking of something flat to rocker or maybe slightly cambered to rocker to butter and be forgiving on spins. What do you think? Thanks again. Rome Party Mod would be the first one that comes to mind on that. But because you want to butter some stuff, so maybe like a Battalion Disaster or even you bump up to like the Disaster Plus, because then you're going to get, well, with the Disaster Plus, though, you're going to get that 3BT and you get the sidekick, so you can actually see how this is actually scooped out in there. So it'll reduce that contact point bite in there when you get up on the tips to press it around. That would be another one. Plus, that has the Disaster has mellow camber, so it's traditional camber, but it's not so aggressive that it's going to kill you. STNH, hey, do you know where the new Atlantis boards are made? Factory? So looking at that tip shape, it's one of two factories, I think. It might be GP87 looking at it, but I think it's actually Titan. Just like looking at the tip shape. So yeah. Adam Patterson, why do all the boards I want have a white top sheet? Cheaper to produce? No, they're white, so you can take a black Sharpie and draw whatever graphic you want on them. It's for artistic expression. You don't ask questions like that. Okay, let's see. Hi, heavens, a spin for stickers for my friend's dope hoodie. Oh, your friend's dope hoodie should be burned. Fuck. Shit's fucking trash. Straight trash. Fucking Georgia and like South Carolina and Michigan are all here on spring break, and it's just like, oh, so much fucking trashy ass dope. Someone tried to get on the chairlift with me the other day. Literally, there's no one there. I looked at them and I was like, no. And they're like, why? And I was like, your outerwear. But hey, you did win a small sticker pack, so all you got to do is email me, info@angrysnowboarder, and I'll drop that in the mail to you. Juarez, Arvin. No, my name's Averin, not Arvin. Finally caught this live. Opinions on the ride burnout. I've got a new one sitting in the other room that I've still got to ride. I haven't ridden it in years. The last times I rode it, it was a little too stiff for what I wanted. The side cut was good, but it was just too. I'm going to be riding the 2024 here probably in another week or so. All right. Let's see. Shish kebab, Union Atlas or Strata for the magic carpet. The Strata will match it better. The Atlas would be a little overkill. STNH, what do you think of Sims boards? Aren't they made at the Never Summer Factory? We know you don't like them. They're not made at the Never Summer Factory. They're made at Playmaker in Taiwan. Because the deal with Never Summer, what fell through, and the Japanese distributor of Sims, which is a whole different story, bought the U.S. licensing rights. So they're doing all the marketing for it. Honestly, I don't think about Sims. At this point, that brand, every time they try to come back and do something, it ends up failing and failing and failing. That brand has been resurrected more times than Jason Voorhees. Like, you just look at it now, and I'm like, and talking to shops that carry them, I'm like, is it even moving? And they're like, I sold 2. I ordered 20. And I'm like, ouch. That's bad. So, yeah. All right. Milo, any tips for doing a pond skim? Go fast and lean back. A flat to rocker board really does excel better in there because you get the wakeboard effect. You're not fighting that load of traditional camber. So if you lean back, you'll be good. All right. Let's see. All right. Got one from the Bracken. Currently on a GNU Rider's Choice C2X with Burton Malavitas. I want a powder springboard and was interested in the Rome Stalefish. Should I save 40 and just go with the Service Dog? Thanks. So the current iteration of the Stalefish and Service Dog, it's a marginal increase in stiffness. So if you want something that's a little more stable underfoot, and I mean just a hair more stable and has a little more pop, then you go with the Stalefish. Otherwise, if you're just looking for something, like you said, for powder springboard, if you want something that's just going to push through slush, be a little bit softer, save the money, go with the Service Dog. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. We got a super chat here from our boy, Marcus Sharp. Got hit by an out-of-control kook boarder on an empty run with plenty of clearance on both sides. He then took off. Spin for karmic retribution. It's okay. He probably went to the bar, bragged about it, and got crabs that night. So now he's walking around itching his crotch all day. Ooh. Spray skiers, people. Spray skiers. Okay. Ian Denov. Hi. Killed my terrain record last week. Looking for something all mountain. A bit more aggressive than the terrain record, but still kind of forgiving when I'm tired. The terrain record was great, both on ice and powder, so I need something like that. Bump yourself up to a full cambered board or a cam rocker at least. And I would say go check out the Jones Mountain Twin. I think that'll give you more of what you're looking for. Still going to be floaty in pow just because it's got that rocker in the nose, but you're still going to get that grip of the serrated edges underfoot. Okay. Jacob Iverson. How's the lateral movement in the Union Atlas? Considering them for my standard and ink side note, what an amazing board this thing is. Cool to see what DC can do on it. You mean DCP. But so standard on ink. Yeah. Okay, so like the Union Atlas has like a bigger disc in it, and it's a little more rigid, so you don't get as much lateral play. You're going to get more drive. For the standard on ink, that's really good because it's going to help you load that camber profile up and really drive it. So I wouldn't worry too much. I really wouldn't worry too much about it like that. The bigger thing is though, it's not the dampest binding. Now supposedly they changed that. I do have a pair of the 2024s that I've got to go ride. Because I think when was the last time I rode those? Like 2018, 2019, I think. I can't remember when the last time was that I rode those. So yeah. Nobody special. What's the move for rusting edges? Brillo pad. Those green little Scotch-Brite pads, something like that. You just little water. Maybe you need to put a little simple orange on it. You'll be good. Let's see. Brandon Sawada, the Nidecker Gamma and Gamma APX for 2024 are available. What comparable boards for 2024 will be coming up? Are there boards I should wait for? You should wait for the reviews on those to drop. I was hoping to have them edited this week. There's a chance I might edit one tonight, but if not, maybe tomorrow. But I'll have reviews of those dropping early because they're early release. Like the APX version is kind of like a GNU Rider's Choice C3 in it. They're not as burly as people think they are. Like, if anything, they kind of actually ride like both of them kind of ride like a Huck Knife Pro, which best version of the Huck Knife Pro I have ridden to date. So they changed the geometry in the tip and lowered the kick on it. So it basically grips better at the contact point and it's easier to engage the pop. This thing is so fucking snappy. And while we're at it, I guess I'll show you guys Arthur Longo's Pro model, the Aeronaut. So got one of these, gonna go ride this at some point. Got a little dirt on it. Ugh. Schmeg. But yeah. Okay. All right, stuff I find interesting with the super chat. I'm so excited for a potential fourth knee surgery on the same knee. I'm going to keep sending it till the East Coast is done. Collagen peptides, glucosamine, maybe some cordyceps mushroom supplements in there. Make sure you do your PT in there. Take care of yourself. Remember to ollie those slow signs. Ugliest part of your body asks, K2 Passport versus the Excavator when it comes to board feel. What do you think? The Excavator is more damp from the midsection back through the tail because it's more directional. The Passport is it's more lively in the tips and then it gets a little more damp underfoot, and then it gets lively again between the feet. Let's see, where were we? Trying to catch up on all you guys. You're about 6 minutes ahead of me. And our moderator, Jesse Dennis, wants everyone to know that his dog, Pope Roscoe, is raping him in his mouth. This is what happens when you adopt a street dog that's used to turning tricks. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Eric Chen, can I use the battalion bindings footbed for Rome? It depends on if it is the same base plate or not. Because if you have one of the older Romes, they tweak the base plate. They won't fit on there. But the new ones, looking at them, it looks like it should fit in there. Because I've got Rome in battalion bindings sitting here. I got to double check on that. But I think that, so you have to make sure because they tweaked the chassis on the base plate or the base tray. And when that changed, it changed how the footbeds fit in there. So you got to double check on that. Oof. Ouch. You lose. All right. We got a question here from Hano. Are you testing out the new Amplid boards? I am. I've got a Morning Glory sitting there, cab driver, Singular Twin, a Data. I rode the Kill Switch already. There's a bunch of shit. I think they sent me like 8 boards this year. So, yeah. All right, this is a good one from Jacob Iverson. Is there any merit to snowboard companies owning their own manufacturing? I know your opinions on most brands, but would like to hear if you think other board manufacturers should move in that direction. Well, if you control the means of your production, it makes sense because let's say you're a small little brand and you're trying to get a factory that's got an order from, say, someone like Burton. Is your $5,000 and you've got a deadline to get stuff shipped? Is your $5,000 order going to match up to a $500,000 order? No, you're going to get forgotten at some point in there. You go to the bottom of the pile because you don't have the money and the capital to do it. So if you own the production means, yes, but at the same time, some companies, they probably shouldn't own their own factory because they don't know how, they wouldn't know how to run it the right way, or it would be so underutilized because you've still got to think how you're going to keep the lights on and what you're going to be producing. Are you making wakeboards, wake skates, snow skates, surfboards, shit like that? And the rest of the year, like, what are you doing? So, you got to do it. I think the bigger thing is if you can find a good factory and have a good partnership and you've got a guy on the ground that's doing the QC and everything for you, it makes way more sense. I mean, I don't think a week doesn't go by right now where I don't get hit up by like 5 or 6 Chinese snowboard factories. They're like, we can make you boards. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of factories can make me boards. Doesn't mean I want you to do it. Oh, you're just going into. I'm putting you in timeout. Don't even. Fuck you. Like, this is what I think of dope right there. Piss on it. Oh, it looks cool. No, it doesn't look cool. It looks like Saga outerwear from 12 years ago. That's what it fucking looks like. It's trash. Ugh. You got put in timeout. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Joe Coffee. What is a great stiff all mountain freestyle true twin camber with ASIM side cut? I mean, stiff as fuck. Jesus Christ, man. There's not going to be many that are super crazy stiff like that, like with an ASIM side cut. So the Gamma APX will be the stiffest thing from Nidecker. The Greats isn't that stiff. The Rider's Choice C3 still isn't super stiff on that with that asymmetrical. Neither is the GNU Headspace. Let's see what else. What is it? There's a Santa Cruz that's got it, but I don't really think about them as a brand. Honestly, like most of them are just going to be middle of the road. They're not going to be stiff as fuck. Like maybe the OptiSim from Nitro would be one to consider. But even then, the tips on that thing are kind of soft and the. Matthew Collins, what are your thoughts on the K2 World Piece and what's a good binding to pair to go with that board? It's a soft jib board. There's really nothing to it. It's like extruded base and edges, wood core, top sheet. That's it. You want something soft on that to match up with it, like bindings I would look at. If you did K2, you probably want to go with like a lean AT on that or even bump down to the Indy. Ride, you'd probably want to go with like a C4 Union, go with the Ultra, which would actually probably be my first choice to put on that. Good match for those two in there. If you did now, it'd probably be like the Brigade. That should give you a few options. Okay. Super chat from our boy. My knees are cheese. Who's your favorite G.I. Joe besides Baroness? Don't you dare say Snake Eyes. No, Repeater. He came out in the 1987 line. He was only featured in the comic book. He never made it to the cartoon. But if we really want to go with the cartoon characters, I'd probably go with Lieutenant Falcon, even though he was a drug addict in the later series and he kind of caused the rise of Cobra Law because he was trying to bang Zorana in the G.I. Joe movie back in the, which, by the way, that had Burgess Meredith in it. Fucking amazing. So, yeah, if you want to talk G.I. Joe nerd shit, I can nerd out all day. And remember to drink your Malort. But if we're going to go with female G.I. Joe characters, the next dog I get is going to be named Scarlet. So, did one for Cobra. It's time to name next dog after your G.I. Joe character, and it'll be Scarlet. So, the Syndicate. What energy drink sponsor is the shit? I think they're all shit. They all suck. Fucking piss water. Oh, look at me. I drank the shit, and now I'm fucking having a heart attack. Well, you got yourself a small sticker pack. You know how to get a hold of me. You know what you need to do. So, all right. PCMs, how long would you say it takes to get used to the riding style of a super stiff boot? Switch to the Insanas, and it felt like a different world. The more you ride, the easier it becomes, and the more you adapt to it. There's certain things that are like the trade-off. Like you don't have as much ankle flexion in there, so when you like land hard, you're basically like slamming into the boot, and it's going to just drive that board a lot harder. So you learn how to under-exaggerate your movements and stuff in there. Personal preference, but like when I switched, like I had a progression. I went from super soft, then I went to the Vans Fargos, and I rode like 4 pairs of those, blew those up, ended up going to the K2 T1 DB. No, did I go? Oh, it was just the T1 because it was a single bow at the time. And I went to the T1, and that was a noticeable, that was like a lateral move from the Fargo. And then the year that, then they went to the T1 DB, and I was doing these weird, I was riding these weird prototype ones that never got produced, thank God, because they were awful. I kept blowing the toe caps out, and like you could see my liner in my boot, like literally my toe strap was holding my boot in. And then when I went to the Thraxis, I think it took me about 25, 30 days of riding that boot just to break it in and then realize how it rode and how much different it was and how much better it was for me, that it made sense. So, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of personal preference on that. Ooh, pick a random question and give it a spin. Okay, this is actually a really easy one, so I'm going to take this from Centauri 2410. Where can I buy Amplid boards in the US? There's 2 places that you can buy Amplid boards. The first is inflightsurfshop.com. They're out of Seal Beach, California. They have it. The other one would be the Splitboard shop in Utah, but it's usually just demo boards. So I would go to inflightsurfshop.com, and you just go, and then across their header, there's snowboards, which there's actually a link in the description, an affiliate link, because I do work with those guys. But they're out of some stuff, but they still do have a bunch of other stuff in there. But they're probably the largest dealer of Amplid in the U.S. So where do we got? Where are we going? Where is this? It's bouncing. It's bouncing. All right. Well, Centauri, you won yourself a small sticker pack. So make sure you email me, info@angrysnowboarder.com, info@angrysnowboarder. Okay. Gregor, did you ever ride the Vimana snowboards from Norway? No. Did they ever contact you? Yes. It never worked out. All right. And we got a super chat from Brian B here. Averin, looking to add a directional twin to the quiver, intermediate rider, looking for something with cam rocker hybrid, middle of the road flex, easy in and out of turns, 880-pound boot, size 9. Thanks. Okay, so you said you wanted it a little bit easier. My suggestion for that would probably be the Jones Mountain Twin or the Ride Shadowband. The Shadowband is going to be a little more aggressive than the Mountain Twin. The Mountain Twin's just a little bit easier to steer that in there. If you want something a little softer than that, the Battalion Fun Kink, but that's full camber with 3BT and sidekick, so it does give you a little bit of a looser feel in the tips, but that board's a little bit easier to engage. Let's see, what else? You could also do a Solomon Assassin too. So there's a few options for you, bud. Ooh, subscribe or else, people. All right. All right. Got a super chat from our boy Anthony Hawking. Legit, I had sweaty hands watching the natural selection tour, worried someone was going to go 300 feet off a cliff. I think I prefer riders judge the runs like last year's dual format. I mean, I was really, I hate to say it, but I was like, who's going to send it super, super big and just ride it out? And I was like, I thought Craven was going to do it. I seriously did. I think he was thinking about it. But God damn, the natural selection tour was burly this year. Well, subscribe or else. Let's see. What sizes is the Aeronaut offered in this year? So let's see. Okay, so the Aeronaut's offered in a 153, 155, 57, 59, 61, with the biggest waist being on the 61 at 25.9. And the 53, goddamn, the 53 has a narrow-ass waist at 24.7. So 25 on the 55, 25.3 on the 57, and 25.6 on the 59. But, hey, this thing should turn, though. 5 millimeters of taper, too. Huh. Sweet. Sorry, all you big-footed riders. Just chop your toes off and get smaller boots. Okay. BCMs with a super chat. Dope and Montec are the new gotcha. Maybe. I don't know. Shit's trash. Just fucking trash. Ooh, we're going to pick a random question and give it a spin. Let's see. Okay, where were we? Trying to catch up on everyone here. Piff asks, yesterday I got new boots, the Solomon Launch Boa size 10. It felt good at the store. After riding 2 hours, toes start hurting / numb. Old boots, size 11 ride. Should I keep riding or size up? I don't know. I'm not looking at your fucking foot, but if it's sized right and your toes are going numb there, and it sounds like it's sized right, what it is it's got to pack in. You probably didn't get the liner he molded. You're probably also rocking stock insoles in that, which they're fucking trash. Throw the stock insole out. Go get yourself an aftermarket, whether it's a shred sole, a Remind, a Cetus, FP, whatever. Get something in there that give you your actual arch support. So let's give that a spin. All right, well, won yourself a small sticker pack. I guess I'm just going to be giving away stickers the rest of my life. All you got to do is email me info@angrysnowboarder.com with your mailing address. Make sure you put your mailing address. I'm not a fucking psychic. When people are like, yeah, just send it to me. I'm like, how the fuck? There's no fucking address. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Okay. We got It's Lil G Baby with the super chat. Love your videos so much. Well, thanks, dude. I'm glad you like them. I'm glad someone likes them. So, got a lot more in the works. Also, just so everyone knows, thanks to all the support of you guys, I was able to buy a Canon R6 Mark II, and we bought a lav mic for it. We've been filming with this for all the new reviews. So you'll see, starting in September, all the reviews for anything that's designed for September will be dropping. Higher quality. It shoots in up to 6K. I'll be shooting in 4K with it in there. So you guys actually helped pay for this thing. So stoked on that. Thank you very much on that. But yeah, we're going to be adding some higher quality stuff to that. And we're going to be adding some new stuff. So like the goal right now with what we've got coming on with videos, I've been slacking. I had a kind of an off week, so I didn't film a top 5 this week. But hopefully tomorrow or Saturday, I'll film a bunch of top 5s. Bang out some stuff for the rest of the year. Basically, about I think it's like May 15th, give or take. You'll be getting explained videos, but after about May 15th, I'll be on vacation till middle of June, maybe the start of July. So like 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to go on vacation. No live streams, stuff like that. There'll be some content, but I will be working on stuff. But Thunder Cheeks and I are riding a ton of product. So you got a new guy doing reviews. You'll see him coming out. I've filmed. Right now, I think I filmed almost, not counting what I have saved on YouTube, but like what I have to edit. I think I filmed like 4 more months of explained videos, and I've got a ton of stuff that I've still got to film for that. So that'll be coming out. And then what the goal is we're going to get all the reviews done. We're going to film basically about a year. So with the reviews, if everything's right, they should end right around the first of the year, give or take, maybe a week or two after that into 2024. Then we'll have top 5s. We should be able to film 52 of them. So that's a whole year of that. We'll have that ahead. Explained videos will be a year ahead. And when Carl gets back from hiking the trail that she's going on, I'm going to sit down and talk with her. We might be hiring a women's reviewer too. And so I got to talk with her when we get back and work numbers. But if we can do that, but the long-term goal is in the next 6 months, it's going to look like I'm not doing anything. Like I'm going to be kind of hidden. Behind the scenes, I will be filming a ton of content, and the goal is to get to a year and a half out for everything so that there's this huge buffer. This is something I've been working on since 2020. Actually, 2019 was the goal, and then, pandemic. But with everything that happened, the goal is to try to get ahead on the hell's my dog barking at? To get ahead on content, and then we're going to be doing some more cool stuff. I got some ideas. I might do some video essays on snowboarding and whatnot. So you guys want to see the dog? I think she wants to come in. Hey, come here. Come here. Hey, where you going? No, you're not allowed in there. Get over here. Come here. Everyone wants to see you. Yeah, come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, here's my girl. Here's my sweet baby. Something perturbed her out there. I think her friend Mazzie's out there and she wants to play. So, but yeah, you shoot your sweetie. Can you kill? Put those ears up. Love. Kill. You gonna kill? You vicious? You gonna kisses? Okay. All right. Out you go. Out you go. But yeah, so we're trying to get ahead on everything. So hopefully that'll happen. And you guys support on like Patreon, Angry Snowboarder, VIP, buying stuff through the web store, super chats, all that. That money's all going to the future so we can do stuff. And I'm working on some new apparel too. So yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. We got super chat from stuff I find interesting. What's the difference between the 22 Huck Knife Pro versus the 24 Pro? Always spray because they deserve it. So the 22 has a steeper tip kick to it and a narrower contact point at the tip of the tail. So it actually got wider in 2024. So what they did is they bumped out the contact points. They made it wider. They lessened the kick in there. So the camber, it's more camber dominant with a smaller rocker zone. It's like, I'd say the rocker zone's like maybe about that big in there before it hits the kick. And it changes the sweet spot in there. The other thing was that they changed the core construction last year. So from 22 to 23, they changed that core construction. They put more carbon in it. It makes it more snappy. So basically, with what's going on in 24 from 22, you changed the contact point, and so that changes how it's actually going to carve and engage. It also changes how it flexes at the tip and how it locks in. But you've got this carbon in there, so it snaps. That board is super snappy. Like right now, that's probably one of my top 5, if not my top 5 pick. I got a lot more park boards to ride for a park board because it rides so much different. It is really, really good. So. What do we got? And remember to support your local snowboard shop. Also, if you're just tuning in, we got a poll in the chat box. If you're asking questions, get them in there. I'm going to try to answer them. And we're just kind of going down the line. Right now, it's 3:56 p.m. on my clock, and I am taking questions from 3:40 p.m., so I'm 16 minutes behind. So let's see what we can catch up on. All right, HW. I rode a K2 Passport in a 160. I really liked it overall. However, I got crazy vibrations in my boot. I had it paired with the Union Ultras. I ended up returning it and going with the 59 wide. Yeah, I wouldn't have put the Ultras on that board. That's what's doing it to you. Okay. Monkey Pies. Will the 2024 Solomon Dance Hall change much? I'm pretty sure that board doesn't change. Just the graphic. Whew. Future Sesh, I just bought a ride commissioner. Is it decent for long carves? Oh, yeah. That thing's a fucking rocket ship, dude. You want to rip a long carve, go for it. All right. MPix 00. For the Battalion Fun Kink, would the Union Ultras or Battalion Astros pair better with it? If you did the Astros, you want to go with the ASIM over the full wrap, but that might be overkill, so you'd be better off bumping down to the Blaster in the ASIM. Otherwise, the Ultras will, because that board isn't overly stiff. Okay, JB, can you suggest decent socks for folks with circulation problems that get numb toes? Currently riding with toe warmers, but wanted something less bulky, more convenient than that. Thanks. Go to your doctor and get checked to see if you have Raynaud's syndrome. Raynauds, Raynaud's syndrome. Check it out. It's a circulation issue. Once you know that if you have that or not, there's things that you can do. But socks are only part of the thing. Like a compression sock will only help you so much. If you have a good footbed, that will help with the circulation. You might even need to get battery-powered socks. That might be something that you need to do. The other thing is you might be one of these guys that's like, you want to go ride for 4 hours, you go ride hour and a half. You have to take a half hour off. Then you go and ride the next and break and the next and the break. That might be what it is in there. So... Or you could just be like me, and when your feet go numb, you're just like, fuck it, I don't know what's going on. All right. Tyler Strand, angry. How does the Solomon Dance Hall compare to the Solomon Huck Knife? Obviously different shapes. Just curious on how you would compare their respective rides. RIP the house. Dance Hall's a party board. It's got a radial side cut on it, so it actually has different engagement. It's more directional, so you do have that nose and how it flexes in there. It's also way softer than the Huck Knife in that the Huck Knife doesn't hold an edge as well as the Dance Hall. Well, the new one does, but the current year one doesn't grip as well to it. Pop is kind of the same. I'd say that the Dance Hall's a little more laid back, but that's about it. Roberto and Priscilla de Barros. Have you ever tried the Amplidata? No, I've got one sitting in the other room. I got to ride that still. All right. Chandrika Sharma. What would you recommend for a beginner park guy? Huck Knife or Rome Artifact? Thanks, Angry Border. Go with the Rome Artifact. It's going to be easier. The Huck Knife's probably too much board for you. Okay. Anthony Hawking, is Malort an energy drink? Yeah, it zaps the energy out of you and makes you hate your life and your choices because it's got a smell of old sweaty gym socks, diesel fuel, and that fat chick you hooked up with behind the bleachers in high school. Okay. Dan K, any disadvantages in natural selection and making lines look easy, even if it's super technical? Will judges score lower? Also, make sure to check out Avron's personal shopper link. I'm not a judge. Ask Chad Otterstrom or Gian Morissette or all those guys. I have no idea what the fuck's going on up there. That's all their criteria. I mean, there's something to be said about taking it, making something look easy. It also speaks about your riding too. And remember to eat your muscle cheese. Joe X, spin to win some new stickers. Okay. Well, Joe, you got yourself some more stickers. You know what to do. You know how to get a hold of me. So, all right. And it's little G Baby with the super chat. What binding should I use with the DOA 2023? Union Ultra, Rome, Vice, Ride C6. There's 3 options for you. Take your pick. There's probably something for sale on the house. Where we go? That's right. That's right. Say no. Say nope to dope. Nope. All right. All right. Okay. Carlos Enriquez with the PSA super chat. Hit the like button, you peasants. That's right. Drink your Malort and hate your life. Okay. Andres Stanescu. Hi, Angry. What are your thoughts on next year's Nitro alternator? Looked at it, flexed it briefly. I should have one coming in next week. So can't wait to get on it. Looks interesting. I feel like it'll sit in that same category as like the Mountain or like the Griff. So, okay. Got one here from Anonadeuce. Thinking about picking up a Public Disorder because they're on sale, but I'm worried there might be too much overlap with my Westmark camber. Is it soft enough to justify the sweet deal? As someone that owned a lot of Westmarks, I'd rather ride the Disorder, personally. It's just an old school snowboard. It's just a cambered old school snowboard. But if you're on a budget, don't do it. Save your money. But if you're going to buy it as a backup for when you kill that Westmark camber, then yeah, do it. Jason Robertson, looking at specs at 215 pounds and 11.5 boot, why would the 51-piece Seeker be your choice? Also, why would the 55 be your pick? No, I would put you on the 51. If you were like 240 and up, I'd put you on the 55. You'll thank me in the long run. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Moving around here. God damn. I am in the weeds here. I'm working on this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Feature sesh. Are the Rome Black Labels your favorite bindings? I have 4 pairs. Jesus Christ. Dude, I answered your fucking question. You're going in timeout. All you're doing is spamming. Get the fuck out of here. Silas Girl, getting a new board is a lower intermediate. Do you think the Battalion feel better? The Captain Space Metal Fantasy? Yes, basic. Would these be good? Something else? Those are 3 real solid ones. As a lower intermediate, I'd go Space Metal Fantasy first, then or the basic, but I'd probably put you more towards the Space Metal Fantasy. Then the Battalion feel better. Okay, DWDC. Have you ridden next year's Black Snowboard to death yet? No. Oh, I'm wondering about the flex of next year's and the Mega Death. So the flex stays the same on the Black Snowboard to death, but the Mega Death is not crazy aggressive. It's just mega construction. If anything, this feels softer than the regular Black Snowboard to death. And if you are a heavier rider, you're probably going to actually eat this thing alive versus a Black Snowboard to death. What this is it's just a lighter weight board with more snap to it. That's what it really feels like. Like, I absolutely love this thing. But if I was like heavier and I was just like needed something with a damper ride, that's where the Black Snowboard to death comes in versus the Mega Death, which let's end this poll we got going on here. Let's see where we're at. So, okay. So out of 240 votes, 50% of you think the Capita Megadeth is better than Dave Mustaine's Crazy Talks at 31% and the band Megadeth at 18%. Good to know. Hangar 18 is a great album, by the way. Dave Mustaine's just insane. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see, where were we? We're gonna take this one from Channing 19. Karua Auto. Anything that has a similar turning feel but is a bit softer. Yeah. So K2 Passport would be a really good one like that. I guess well, the Nidecker Gamma APX, that kind of turns like that board too. Softer. Snap actually feels easier to engage on that board. Let's see what else. I would probably look at like the Amplid Singular or Singular Twin too. So there's some options for you. Okay. Let's see. We got Rye with the super chat. What are your thoughts on the Nitro Rambler versus the K2 formula? Rambler seems more adjustable, but I don't know if I'm an idiot. I ride switchbacks. Thanks. Well, anything's going to be better than those switchbacks that you had. Let's see. It's so the formula is a little more damp than the Rambler underfoot, and it's like the strap is also they're close, but the formula feels a little stiffer than the Rambler. That's the big thing in there. I also think the ratchets are better on the formula. Rambler, in terms of adjustability, they're fairly similar. There's stuff that I like more on the K2, like you get the hinge strap so it falls out of the way, stuff like that. But with the Nitro, you do get the steel cables in there, so if you break the plastic, you still have a steel cable holding it on there. Coming off switchbacks, I'd probably just tell you go buy the formulas, honestly. You'll thank me in the long run. All of them slow signs, people. Okay. All right. Well, here we go with our boy Jesse Dennis. For park riding, I'm on a medium stiff board, wide of course, and a fifth of Jameson and Lemmy amounts of speed. What boot binding combo do you suggest? Best boot's the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. I think you own like 25 pairs of bindings that are sitting somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I know you have them somewhere in there. So, but for how big you are and you're on a medium stiff board, wide, of course, because Jesse's a goddamn Satchmo. He's like 7'9", 485.732 pounds. I know that exactly because that's what my scale said after he stood on it and broke it. But I think for bindings, you just need something in the middle of the road. Nothing too crazy, nothing too soft. I mean, he used to ride Contact Pros, I think. So like maybe go to a Strata, but you probably realistically like maybe like a Ride C6 would do you. Maybe, and then I would say even like a Rome DOD, something like that would be good. I think a Vice would be too soft for it, and a Katana isn't going to be what you want, but I think a DOD would. Or maybe a Battalion Astro in there. So, yeah, a few options for you. What do we got? Ooh, person 3 above gets a spin. Wait, oh, it bounced. It bounced. Well, Jesse gets a small sticker pack, but I'll just give that to him in person. Okay. Hano, get them cheddar biscuits. I got to make biscuits tonight. I've been on this kick lately where I'm just seeing what can I cook inside muffin tins. So I made bison bacon cheeseburgers wrapped inside of a croissant. It cooked in a muffin tin the other night. Fucking phenomenal. So tonight, pulled pork cooked inside of flaky biscuits in a muffin tin. This is like where I'm going. This is my whole new thing. They're pocket sized. You can put 2 or 3 of them in your pocket when you go shredding. You can just eat them. It's like pocket bacon, but it's like a pocket burger. I'm onto something here for you guys. I'm just testing the waters. Just testing the waters. All right. Well, Hano, got yourself a small sticker pack. All right. So next question comes from Adam Finley. Hey, dude, any changes to the archetype next year? And is there a non-swallowtail version in their line? There used to be, and it was called the Maverick. It's gone now. Great board. Fucking phenomenal. I've got one sitting in the other room. It's got that new Phonon sidewall, and I guess there's like some kind of, I got to read up on it, but I was looking at it the other day, and it's some kind of, something's different with the sidewall construction, I think, in there, even though it's still got the urethane sidewall. There's something else going on in there. So, yeah. BCMs, are you ever going to do a board terminology for beginners series? No, because I kind of like how everyone either figures it out or they just sit there and they go, I don't know what this means. And then everyone else answers it for them. It actually drives up the engagement on the video, and then it puts me higher in the YouTube algorithm if I just made a video that did it. On top of the fact, I do all these explained videos for you people, and I still get people going, how does this compare to this? And I was like, here's a video. How does it compare to this? Here's a video. How does it compare to this? Here's another video. And they're like, you have a video on everything. And I was like, do you not know how the fucking search function works? Or like, what the fuck? So. Well. Sir, you got yourself a medium sticker pack as well. God damn, you guys just sucking up all my stickers. I got to make more. Okay, Brian P., what do you think about boards with bamboo maple sidewalls? Does it change much? Looking at the HPS fish. So maple sidewalls are a little more rigid, and you have to have them. Same thing with bamboo. Anytime you use a wood sidewall, you have to make sure it's sealed right, because if you don't, that becomes an issue down the road. If that seal breaks, the moisture gets in there and then they delam on it. I've written enough stuff with bamboo sidewalls to know that unless you absolutely crush it onto a rail, like you come down with all your weight on it and compress it like right under the foot, they're pretty damn durable. Maple is a little different, just being a harder wood in that it reacts different and whatnot. I'm supposed to be getting an HPS fish to ride at some point. So, Silence Girl with the super chat. Just throwing it on there. And RIP to the house. For anyone that doesn't know, the house board shop is going under because Camping World pulled the plug. It's probably Marcus Lemonis' fault, even though he doesn't own Camping World anymore. But you can use the code SAVINGS at checkout and get an additional 40%. I was watching the Unstrapped Snowboard show, and I was in the live stream on Tuesday, and one of you guys that I recognize, Cameron Holmrest, he got a Chamonix split board, which whatever, but with, I think it was the Union Charger split board bindings. He got the board and the bindings for $400. Like, there are some crazy fucking deals on there. So, yeah, take advantage of that, people. Tragon, need more dog cameos. Everyone loves my dog. And she loves everyone. That dog has been over-socialized. Oh, random stranger opening a car door. Hi, I'm hopping in today. I'm like, Jesus, where are you going? Ooh, he You got nothing. Let's see. All right, let's see. We'll take this one from Mick Plachatti. I want to buy a GNU Headspace. Any major downsides to that board? It doesn't have full wrap edges. It's got tucked edges. That creates 4 possible impact points if you hit something where it can pull the edge. You have a ton of tip fill in the nose and the tail. It's easier to repair, but it changes the overall ride of that board. Mervyn boards tend to be a little more damp. They're not as lively. It does have an asymmetrical side cut. If you're not used to that, it can be a little wonky for some people at first. You got magnet traction on there. The C3 camber profile does have a slight dip in the middle too, so it's not like full traditional camber. Those would be all the negatives that I could think of. Okay. Tyler Durden. Didn't you shoot yourself in the head? Flagship 158, good for a size 5, 760 pound, size 9 boot. Pairing with the red Insano boots, Jones Mercury bindings. I feel like the 54 would be a little too small as I'm a strong rider. I mean, if you're just looking for more free ride and you want more float, more edge hold, yeah, then go with the 58. If you're looking for something to be a little more nimble, then the 54 would really come in. But yeah, that's kind of where you're at. Dinos is a 256 waist width, enough for a size 10.5 boot. Yeah, you're totally fine. Waist width is kind of arbitrary because you don't mount your frigging binding right at the dead center. It's a throwback to ski terminology because that's where they mount their boot. Like, the bigger thing is figuring out what the width is at the insert pack. And obviously it's going to be wider because boards have that hourglass shape, or hopefully they do. If they don't, man, somebody screwed up. But they get wider underfoot, so you end up with a little bit more width there. Okay. Aaron Cray just rode the Amplid Snow M. My spelling sucks. At Kirkwood today. Thanks for the review. I bought it from Splitboard. What's up with demo boards? Kick-ass Sprayer Fan Club. Demo boards are solid. Most of the demo Amplids were probably stuff that I rode, but it's a demo board. I mean, they just take it out the demo, the public rides it. If they take care of it, it's just a pre-ridden board. Maybe it was ridden one time, maybe it was ridden 100 times. You never know. It's kind of like buying a rental that's in way better shape. So. Ooh. Pick a random question and give it a spin. All right. Okay, we got Chandrika Sharma. Would you recommend the Rome Vice or Union Ultra for the Rome Artifact, or you recommend some other bindings than those two? Honestly, either of those are really, really solid. The Artifact is actually designed to be ridden with the Vice. The Ultra will have more lateral play in it. It's a little more loose of a binding. So if you want something with a lot more ankle flexion, you go with the Ultra. You want a little more performance, you bump it up to the Vice. But either of those are really solid bindings for that board. You don't have to worry about it. Where we go? Person 3 above gets a spin. 1, 2, 3. Well, that was actually a super chat that I was going to take, so that's perfect. From Herbert Marmaton, looking for a park beater version of the ride Peace Seeker. Small, medium features, beginner rails tubes. Would the Shadow Band Zero fit this? I mean, Peace Seeker's something completely different. The Shadow Band would kind of be like the closest thing to it because it's a directional twin. The Zero is just a true asymmetrical twin in there. Honestly, though, I feel the Shadow Band's a little too stiff for sliding rails tubes. Like the Zero would be better for you. If you're just looking for a park beater, I'd go with the Zero. Hell, I'd even just buy a fucking Agenda, which you can get those on the house, I think, for like $230 right now. All that is a non-asymmetrical Zero. Like, that's what the Agenda really feels like. I'd buy the Agenda if you're just going to hammer it into the ground, and at $230, I wouldn't feel bad about it. So. Oof, loser. Okay, George Rivera. Averin, how does the Capita Mega Merc compare to the Super DOA? Thanks. So, George, basically, you got about this much setback on the Mega Merc. And realistically, like, there's other little differences, but the big difference is a little more setback. Like, they both have mega construction. They're both going to have insane pop. They have insane base finishes. The side cut's a little different on each one. I think the Mega Merc carves a little bit better than the Super DOA, but the Super DOA doesn't suck at carving. It just doesn't carves a little bit better than the Super DOA, but the Super DOA doesn't suck at carving. It just doesn't deeply engage as much as the Mega Merc. Basically, the way to look at it is if you're riding more park, you're hitting bigger jumps, you want to boost more, you go with the Super DOA. You're riding more of the mountain, you're going to go after some pow, you're going to lay more carves, you go with the Mega Merc. So Super DOA more freestyle, Mega Merc just a hair more free ride. Where we going? Well, George, win yourself a small sticker pack for that new snowboard you're about to buy, because I know you're going to buy a new snowboard, aren't you? So make sure you email me info@angrysnowboarder.com and I'll get that in the mail. All right. Okay, let's see. Where are we? I am out in the fucking weeds here. Team 1776. Will corporations ruin snowboarding? Every company is a corporation. If they have an LLC, it's a limited liability corporation. Let's think about this. The big thing is it's idiots that are just trying to be culture vultures and steal whatever they can from snowboarding for the bottom line of the profits. That's why you have stupid shit like Dope and Montec coming out there. You see those stupid idiots pushing the clue binding, Gilson, all that shit. They're all corporations. It's like, but the bigger thing is, and this was actually a top 5 that I've been working on, and I was going to record it yesterday, but I didn't for reasons. But top 5 reasons we need gatekeepers in snowboarding, because it's cultural preservation more than anything. So if you as a snowboarder, and not a person that snowboards, but if you are a snowboarder and you feel that some company doesn't represent snowboarding the right way, it is your job to facilitate that, to call out the bullshit in it. Like if you call out the bullshit and you hold people and companies accountable, there's only 2 ways they can do it. They can ignore you and it comes back to bite them in the ass down the road, or they can listen to you and try to fix things. And there's a lot of companies that don't want to listen to anyone because they're like, you're trying to hold me down. No, I'm trying to tell you your shit fucking sucks. Make better shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I always get into it with these stupid idiot Gilson fanboys that are like, oh, you're just a hater of technology. I'm not a fucking hater of technology. I'm a hater of shitty technology, and they made shitty technology. You want to know what I think of their boards? The first time I ever saw them, I pulled out, I don't know, I think they were selling it for $580 at the time. And I was like, oh, okay. White top sheet, clear base. They were just showing the tech. It was a sample, whatever. I looked at it, looked at the 3D shape, and I was like, it looked kind of similar to Omatic's BS technology. And I was like looking at that, and I was like, okay, but BS technology you could actually tune. And this, because it has the step rail, I was like, well, there's no way to tune this. And I was looking at it. I go to flex the board, and I put the nose on the ground, put my hand right over the front insert, flexed it in the middle, and cracked it. I don't mean the fiberglass cracked. I mean like the sidewall cracked and the top sheet. And I was just like, put it back in the rack and was like, oops. So I broke it. And I looked at it and I was like, and then I talked to the people, and whoever they had represent the company was coked out of his mind. And I was just like, yeah, hey, buddy, maybe take it down from 15 to maybe say a 9. Like, you are way up there. But that's the whole thing. It's like the clue binding when it came out. It was a design concept that somebody sent to me. It was a 3D, I think it was made in SolidWorks or CAD, but it was probably SolidWorks. And they sent it to me, and I'm looking at it going, okay, that's kind of unique. But I was like, fatal flaw here, problematic here, here, and here. And so I was overly critical of it. So what they do, they went on Dragon's Den or whatever the fuck their version of Shark Tank in Germany is, or something like that. They raised a bunch of funding. They're playing with other people's money. They produced them. Where did they even sell them this year? I didn't even think anyone bought them this year. It's like they did a one and done. They're already gone. On top of the fact that that binding doesn't even have a heel cup. It doesn't have a real heel cup. There's like so many issues with it. Plus, they have a proprietary ladder strap. I watched a guy break one and nothing would fit the ratchet and the ladder. And I was like, yeah, because it's proprietary. Well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, buy some real fucking bindings. Like when you hold them accountable and you hold these brands and you hold these people accountable, like everyone wants to be the fucking cool guy. And they're like, oh, I'm the cool guy and I'm in fucking snowboarding. Yeah, that's cool, dude. Snowboarding's fucking great, man. There's a lot of great people in it. It's a lot of really good things. But when you do kooky ass shit, you need to be held accountable for it. When you look at it, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with being held accountable for your actions when you do kooky ass shit. It's like, don't do this shit. It's like, like I tore apart 10 pairs of outerwear to prove that the dope shit was trash. That was the whole point of that video, was to just prove the point that this stuff was trash. And when I took it apart and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, they're heat transferring like a 3M vinyl for their waterproofing on the inside of the material. And I was like, it's cheap. It's just cheap shit. So, yeah, corporations ruin snowboarding. Yeah, corporations might ruin snowboarding. People might ruin snowboarding. World leaders might ruin snowboarding. You never know. Okay. All right. Okay, Chris Yee trying out the GNU Bank Country. Which of my bindings would pair better, the Jones Mercury or the Rome Katana? The Katana will ride easier on it because you've got more lateral play, because that board is very back foot dominant. You'll thank me later having the Katana on that, because you got that outside lateral play so you can actually sit on it. But I think the Mercury would drive it better for sure. Okay, Don K. Hey, Angry, have you had the chance to try the 2024 Solomon High Path? Looks good with nils on it on natural selection. No, I haven't yet. Can't remember if Eli, my rep, has given me one or not, but he's up at Slash and Burn and Steamboat right now, so I'll talk to him next week. Okay. Quinn Fitz 886. How do I fix pain in the ball of my foot? I've ridden them 15 days and can't figure it out. Boots, ride, lasso, and super feet insoles. Any ideas? It could be a lack of metatarsal arch support in there if it's in the ball of the foot, which means the super feet don't have it. It's this little thing that does it in there. Could be that the arch is actually too high in the instep in there, so you might actually have to cut it in there. Could be that you have to heat mold it. It could be that your straps are sitting too low and now they're putting pressure over the instep and it's actually pushing down on it. You could be tying your boots too tight. You could be over cranking the toe strip. It could be your stance with angle alignment in there. There's a lot of trial and error to go into doing that without me literally looking at your foot going, okay, it's right here. It's this, and this. I can't really diagnose it. Okay. Devin Leprath, any recommendations for a fast, hard-charging free ride resort board and like a size 162? Any thoughts on the Cardiff boards? They're made at GP87. There's actually a Cardiff ad that ran on the start of this before we got into it. I haven't ridden them. I probably won't. They're kind of hard to deal with. Honestly, wasn't overly impressed when I looked at them. So but if you want something like super aggressive and hard charging, check out the Ride Commissioner. You will thank me later for that. That board is aggressive. The GNU Bank Country, to an extent, is kind of crazy. Let's see what else is out there. Maybe an Amplid Pentaquark. Could probably even do like a Soli Grail to an extent, or a UNW8 from Amplid. Let's see what else. Nidecker, you maybe something in like that Beta APX. That might be something good to check out too for you. So there's a few options for you. Ride Mountain Pigs, another one if you wanted to stick with Ride. K2. Really nothing too crazy with K2 that sticks. Well, Alchemist, I guess. If you did Jones, Ultra Flagship, maybe an Aviator 2.0. Okay. Ooh, Jesse Dennis just trying to rattle Rattled the cage here with the super chat. Jones Kooks versus Orca Kooks. Discuss. I got a better one. We're going to do a poll in this. What's worse? All right. So let's do this. Jones Kooks. Orca Kooks. I'm going to let you guys. Oh, wait. No, we don't want that. Let's see. We'll get rid of that one. We'll do that. Ask your community. Boom. All right. New poll up. You guys answer. It's in the chat box. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. All right. Let's take some more questions. Shylinks with the super chat. Slush day tomorrow. Bought a ride 0 and got a pair of K2 formulas for free. RIP the house. It's actually a really good combo right there. Yeah, RIP the house. Crazy deals. Remember, use the code savings and click the affiliate link so I make some cash. It's going to hurt next year when I don't have them to make money from. Well, win yourself a small sticker pack. God damn. Oh, wait, nope, bounced out. Oh, pick a random question for a spin. Let's see. Okay. Let's see, where are we? This is a funny one from Rod Kings. Never Summer is like the Scientology of snowboards. Different type of kooks. They're not good enough to be Scientologists. They're even worse than that. They're flat earthers. Like Kevin and I used to joke about that when people would start going off and be like, oh, the flat earthers are at it again. Oh, man. Okay. Chris Anthony. Are Jones power boards really all that? I like the hovercraft. I like the Mind Expander. Ultra Mind Expander is a little too much. Ultra Hovercraft's probably a little too much. Storm Wolf's cool. Storm Chaser's kind of meh. They're hit or miss. They have their place, and if you're the right rider for them, they're great. Like I've had good days on stuff from them, and I'm like, oh, this board's fucking phenomenal. And I've had other times where I'm like, why am I riding this? You know, it's kind of hit or miss with those two. But you got to spin anyways. Ooh, spin again. Ooh, pick a random question for. Oh wait, is it bouncing? Nope. Pick a random question and give it a spin. We're gonna take this one from Dan K. Have you felt the new Ultra Flex heel straps for next year's Rome bindings? Big difference to the Oxtec? I think it's more durable. So I rode the Black Label and I've ridden the Cleaver so far with it. And the way that it's shaped and everything, flex-wise, it honestly feels like it's a little softer than the old Oxtec, but it feels more durable. Like I noticed that the old ones, they would start to rip after a while and like they would separate. These ones feel just a little bit stronger, but they just have more give into them. So something to consider there. Oof, loser. Yeah, this guy can just get put in timeout. Do it again, you get blocked. Okay. Connor Johannes, I need help with thinning my quiver. What should I get rid of? Huck Knife, Custom X, Skeleton Key, Mountain Pig, War Pig, Super Pig, Mega Merc, DOA, Flagship, Mind Expander, Mountain Twin. Oh my God, how many fucking boards do you have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here's what I would get rid of. Ditch the Mountain Twin, ditch the T-Rice Pro, ditch the DOA, keep the Huck Knife, keep the Custom X, Skeleton Key, Dealer's Choice, Mountain Pig, keep, War Pig, Super Pig. One of those has to go. You're going to have to figure out what camber profile and do whatever you do. Don't get rid of the Mega Merc. Josiah Bartle. Going to be in Steamboat this weekend. Are there any runs or spots you recommend? Dude, they're about to get 20 inches on Saturday. It's slash and burn, so there's going to be a lot of people up there, but they're going to also be racing. What you want to do is head to the pony chair first thing and just start ripping that, and then maybe up 4 points as well. But basically, you're going to have a good time anywhere you go. Try to avoid off the backside because you're just going to get bottlenecked. Stay on the front. You'll be happier. In that you're going to want the steeper terrain too, so avoid the, I guess they technically call it the east side or the south side of the mountain, but it's, stick to the steeper stuff. You're going to have a great time. Okay. Okay. Cameron Halmrest with a super chat. RIP the house. Yes. Farewell to the house. Use code savings and go take advantage of this deals, people. Like there are some insane deals on there. It's ridiculous. Well, Cameron, win yourself a small sticker pack. God damn. This thing is just spitting out smolds today. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. BW Nico, Party Wave any good for Northeast conditions? Local shop has them on sale for $250. Mid-season, when it's all firm and icy? No. Preseason, postseason, when it's super slushy? Fuck yeah, that board will be hilariously awesome for you because you're going to get that funnel of the 3BT. It's going to funnel it out like total full-on party board. And if you're doing a pond skim in the spring, that's a great board for making it across. Okay. Alessandro. Floatiest powder board you can suggest for cheap, for chest deep mammoth. I'm biased towards the spring break. Any suggestions on which model? You probably want to go with like the powder glider or the powder racer. For that, floatiest powder board, I mean, realistically, that would be the 203 quiver cannon from Nitro because it's so big. You're just going to float on that. Can't go wrong with some of the amplets, though. Like Soli Grail, it's really good. There's just like so many options out there. The big thing is you're dealing. You know what else you should look at would be the Libtech Retro Ripper, that Swallowtail. That thing's going to float. Super Swallowtail on there. So, you got options. Okay. Kilograms, Mercury or Mega Merc, depends what you want. You're like more cruiser, rad dad, laid back, you go with the regular Mercury. You want to really like pop and boost off stuff, you go with the Mega Mercury. Honestly, though, at 240 pounds, I tell you to almost bump up and buy the Black Snowboard of Death because it's going to be more damp and it's going to ride better for your weight. Andrew Wang, considering between the Now Drive, the Rome Black Label, and the Union Atlas, which should I pick? The one that fits your needs. Like, they're all kind of ride different. That Black Label has an asymmetrical heel cup on it, so you're going to get more lateral play out of it. It's damper than the Union Atlas. The Atlas is probably the least damp binding on there, but it does have better drive than the Black Label. But then they get the Now Drive with the Skate Tech. You're going to get more power toe to heel on that. That's also the stiffest one of the three. So you got to ask yourself, do you want the stiffest, which would be the Drive? The Atlas is the middle of the road, or the Black Label? Honestly, most people that are looking at the Black Label really just need a katana. Like, you don't need that special high back that they have on there. Like, I don't need it. Like, you'd be fine with a katana. Okay, let's see. Kevin, why does Burton give the good ride boards, but not you because they suck dicks with their buttholes. I don't know. I don't fucking care. I've kind of decided to break Burton off because every time I have to deal with him, it's like fucking pulling teeth. If it takes me 3 hours to get one snowboard out of them, or it takes me 3 minutes to get 30 snowboards out of 10 different brands, I'm going to go work with those 10 different brands. All right. Super chat from Why Are You on YouTube? Amplid UNW8, the board for Bomb and Lift 9 at Loveland. Been looking at one specifically for that spin for copper this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, for Lift 9, for straight bombing. Like, yeah, that's a really good board. Like, you're going to plow through all the chop chunder wind lips and everything with it for up there. Yeah, that's a great board for that. Where we go? Oh, yeah, spray them skiers. Oh, where are we going? Person 3 above gets a spin. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, that's our boy Beziums. We'll give him a spin. RIP to the house. Use code SAVINGS at checkout. Remember to click the affiliate link. Might as well make some money before they go down. If they even actually pay their commissions to me. I'm kind of convinced they're not going to. Okay, where were we? And while you're at it, don't forget to check out the new poll that we put up courtesy of our moderator, Jesse Dennis. What's worse, Jones Kooks or Orca Kooks? I'm going to let you guys decide. Okay. Sawyer Zitlaw, thoughts on the Burton EST channel bindings? I mean, which one? There's so many of them. Like, you generically, like, if you have a channel board, you kind of need channel bindings. I mean, you can use the reflex disc if you want to. Like, I try not to think about Burton. All right. Okay, Jesse Dennis. Corey had some choice words. Corey Smith from Spring Break Snowboards had some choice words for surfboard shapers getting into snowboarding, capitalizing on current trends and snowboarding thoughts. He's not wrong. Like, I mean, if they don't snowboard, what are they bringing to the table? They're just sitting there trying to cash a paycheck. I don't know. Some of these guys are like, oh, it's going to be like the surfiest fucking thing ever. And I ride the board and I'm like, yeah, it's a pow board. Fucking turned. Wasn't anything fucking special. You made it really wide and it's got this weird 3D shaping to it. And I'm just like, you know. At the same time, though, I do think there's nothing wrong with looking outside snowboarding at what other things are doing and seeing how they can work and what you can bring and what you can do to refine stuff. I kind of get where he's coming from because he shapes these unique boards and then people kind of overlook him because they'll be like, so-and-so is working with this brand and he's a famous blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sort of like people have to tell me who they are. And I'm like, I have no clue. They're like, how do you not know? And I was like, because I live in the middle of a fucking landlocked state. And I hate the ocean. The last time it touched me, I got a rash for 2 weeks. The ocean is disgusting. It's where trash goes to die. All my poop floats downhill into the ocean. It's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't pay attention to it. People are like, how do you not know? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's so weird. Like, I kind of see his argument. I'm like, we should really be hyping up the guys that do work in snowboarding that are snowboarders that really design stuff that's really cool. There's some really, really great guys like Michael Chilton over at Rome Battalion. Guy makes really good stuff. Eric Luthart working for Telos Snowboards and GP87. I don't think people know how many boards for so many different brands that he's had a hand in reshaping in there. There's Justin at K2. He absolutely crushes it. There's so many guys that just design. JG that worked with Burton and now he's at Ride. There's so many guys that design so many great stuff, like Thierry Kuntz over at Nidecker who does their Snow Shape series. There's Josh at Offshore Snow Shapes in Japan. So many guys out there just doing really cool stuff that should be hyped up for what they're doing. Oof, I'm in the fucking weeds over here. Ugh. R.I.P. to the house. Fred Stone. Snow Jam doesn't seem to exist. Any knowledge of the Snow Jam crown? It was cheap shit. It was cheap shit. It's always been cheap shit. If you want to buy cheap shit, buy cheap shit. You pay for what you get. Adam Martin, is there anything you could say to get me to move away from a magnet traction board? I've ridden them for years and been shy of moving away from them as I like how much the edge grabs on icier slopes. Yeah, they slow you down more in the flats because you've got more contact gripping with it. They're harder to maintain. If they're damaged, they're harder to repair. Stuff like that. Depending which versions you have, some of that magnet traction does not work as good as others. A more mellow magnet traction actually works better than a more aggressive magnet traction, in my opinion. Also depends on where the actual serrations sit in conjunction with the insert pack, coupled with the camber profile on it. A good radial side cut will really truthfully teach you how to lock in a carve differently than any magnet traction board out there. So, yeah, that's what I can say about that. Narkill 101, have you checked out any Lago boards? Not in a while. Casey was supposed to drop off his pro model for me, but then he went to Taos. So, oh well. All right. Okay. Marcelo Jungis, what about Academy boards? Asking because they're made, they use the Never Summer. Yeah, I wish they didn't use the Never Summer factory. So Academy has some cool shapes. Like I like the Graduate. A lot of their stuff, it's just a basic popsicle stick snowboard to it. Talk to Chad. I always ask him if he wants me to ride anything. He's like, no, and I was like, okay, whatever. They've kind of crawled up the Never Summer butt, and that's where they're going to go to make sales. They're a snowboard. I mean, it's built at Never Summer. It's going to decamber it probably 35 days, maybe 40 to 50 because they actually use real camber. Thank God. But overall, I think their boards were built better when they were made in China and Europe. So, Connor Johannes, definitely keeping my Mega Merc. Just traded my Season Nexus for it last week. Dude, best thing you could do. I have been hearing horror stories of those season boards being warranted because they sat on the water for so long before they got here. So the top sheets are cracking and delamming because they just spent months in a shipping container, baking in the sun, then freezing, then baking and stuff in there. So like the QC, like, yeah, it was funny. One of the guys that works for Season reached out to me and he's like, hey, I'd really like to get you on some skis. And I was like, well, I don't fucking ski. So that just tells me you have no clue who you're emailing. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm done with it. Plus, it's the house's in-store brand. And well, the house, or not the house, Evo's in-store brand. And Evo decided to cut my commission. So yeah, here, let me promote this product that you can only do, even though you just cut my commission in half again. Like, eat a dick. Ugh. So yeah. 4x4 therapy. Averin, why do certain boards change weight recommendations in different years despite the board not being updated? I just noticed this on the Rome Ravine. They switched factories or they changed up the marketing on it. So a big thing, like I don't think a lot of people have realized this, but when you do switch factories, you do end up with different fiberglasses depending if you don't bring your materials with you. And you can spot it. The big one is looking at the top sheet, like if it's more gloss, it's matte. If it's like a little thicker, if you can see the pattern of the fiberglass underneath, that all changes with it. Like a board made at Titan is going to ride different than a board made at Meditech, than a board made at SWS, than made at Mousen, that made at the mothership, that made at Mervin. Like they all ride different. And for one thing, like they could come out with a board and be like, it's only good for this type of rider at this weight for this year. And maybe they had warranty issues, so they changed the core profiling by 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, something like that. That can change stuff in general. Like there's so many ways to kind of change things. All right. Okay. Ian Denov, would you recommend the LT Dynamo for someone who has never tried camber, snowboard, but is a high intermediate advanced on good days? I wonder if it's too aggressive. What about the Shadow Band? Honestly, yeah, I'd go with it. The Dynamo is going to be easier to ride than the Shadow Band, in all honesty. That camber profile is easy to engage. It's not as aggressive. It doesn't have as much rebound, and it's also a more damp ride. Dynamo isn't a crazy aggressive um, uh, board. So, all right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, answered that question. Let's see, where were we? Trying to catch up. Okay, slowing down here. Been here an hour and 40 minutes. So, let's see. DJ Frank, considering doing a custom Marhar Lumberjack X, how good is the quality of the top sheet? Easily damaged or durable? Ugh. So, I've got one. Got one right here. And the only spot that I've had a little issue, I had a stack of boards fall into it and with razor sharp edges, and it chinked it right there. So it's kind of like scraped it up. Otherwise, pretty sure I ran into a rock with this one. I only had one get a chip in the nose, and that one, I ran into something on like a 14-inch powder day at the base, and I think it was a pointy rock, and it pulled it back just a little bit. It didn't like rip it, and I was able to just put a little epoxy and clamp it, and it went right back in. I think their top sheets are super solid. So, yeah, definitely. If you're doing a custom board, you can't, in my opinion, like the Lumberjack X are really, really solid choices from Marhar, but their stuff is super quality. I wouldn't worry about it. All right, we got WTF with the super chat. Cheers. Yeah, no worries, bud. Remember to shop local. Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know that the house is closing, they opened in 1982. That's 41 years, basically, of them being there, and they just so I guess I talked to a few people, and I guess one of the guys is trying to figure out a way to like bring them back or save them or do something or buy the name. So I know for a lot of people in the Midwest that was like their local shop, but like I remember a time when the house was bargain basement. My mom bought a set of Vans High Standards for me back in like 98 maybe. Baby blue, powder baby blue, size 13s. I rode a 152 Burton custom with a 24.5 waist width. I think that's what it was. Might have been 24.7. It was very narrow. A lot of toe overhang and heel. Made do with it. All right. Andre Himayak was a park-oriented board that can do ice and slush on the East Coast coming off a Warpig. Oh, you got plenty of options, bud. Realistically, though, you want something with traditional camber. So if you want to get something for a good price, hop on the house and pick up like a public dispute. Joe Sexton's company, like those public boards, anything that's got camber, like the dispute, the disorder. Statement's a little gnarly, but any of the stuff that's like camber dominant, those boards are super, super solid. Let's see, Rome Agent, Rome Artifact Pro, but I'd probably go with the Agent. Let's see, Ride Zero, that's a good one. Maybe even a bench warmer if you really want something more stiff. Oh, let's see what else is out there. K2 After Black. Bottle Rocket's not bad either. If you want like a gym noodle, you could do a geometric or a world piece. You got options. So Amir S. Angry Snowboarder, if you had to choose between a Jones Mountain Twin, Rome Agent, and a Burton Skeleton Key for a 2-day trip to Park City Mountain Resort, Utah, which would you take? Is that the Skeleton Key Twin or the regular Skeleton Key? Because right now, Utah's about to get hammered with POW. I'd probably go with the most powder-oriented board. If I could only ride one that's like kind of versatile for everything, I'd go with the Mountain Twin. Let's see. Okay, where are we? Adam Martin rode with a coworker who talked nonstop about how he loves his Orca and it's the best board. Was expecting to ride with someone who would be down to rip trees and find stashes. Nope, only groomers. That's kind of the same conversation I have every time I get on a chairlift with someone and they want to try to convert me to the cult. For some reason, these people always want to talk to me and they try to explain everything to me. My favorite was the one guy that was trying to explain everything to me while talking about how I needed to go check out my own reviews. He had no clue who I was. I'm just sitting there and I was like, on the Super B chair, like all the way up. I mean, I think that's like a 15.5-minute ride, something like that. 12.5, 15.5 minutes, something like that. Always trying to tell me I need an Orca for every day and it's good in the park. It's good in this. Dude was like 6'7" and probably 180 pounds with like a size 13 boot. Actually, he's probably a size 10, but he just buys a size 13. But the funny thing was he's trying to convert me and he's telling me I need to check out these Angry Snowboarder review and you can size down on it a little bit and all this stuff. And he's going on and on and on. I waited till we were at the end and I was like, by the way, my name is Avery Lefebvre. I run angrysnowboarder.com. Skated off. The look on his face was just like, but yeah, that's the type of people that you get there. Okay. Eric Chen went to a reputable ski tuning shop in Vermont and asked if they could put structure on my board. They refused and said, not enough base material. The hell are you doing to your board if it doesn't have enough base material? Like, that's a weird one. That's really, really weird. I've only ever ground through one board at a shop, and it was some fucking like medieval Burton. Like, I mean, it was a 3-hole. I think it was like first or second year of the 3. Like, I mean, it was a 3-hole. I think it was like first or second year of the 3-hole. And I looked at the board and I remember giving it to the guy in the back and I was like, I bet you're going to grind through this. And he's like, so what do we do? And I was like, well, they said they wanted it. And he one pass and just a streak like this long and that wide just ground completely through. And we looked at it and I was like, well, I guess we can give him a deal on a new snowboard. And that's kind of what we did, but that's super weird. Sounds like they just didn't want to work on it. Oh, yeah. Drink some Malort. Ellie Zacharone, thoughts on lunar snowboards? I think I looked at them. Don't they sponsor that one weird guy on YouTube that's always crying out of Salt Lake about how his wife has to work 5 jobs so he can go snowboard? I think that's who they work with. I think they have some weird shapes. I don't know. The shit looks heavy as hell if it's the brand I'm remembering. All right. J.E., have you ever demoed a 32-centimeter waist width dunk? Why would I ride shit? I don't ride shit. I don't want anything to do with that brand. That brand fucking sucks. Their shit's whack. Like, they're the poor. They're the Walmart board for people that race border cross. That's what they are. They're overpriced turds. Like, fuck them. Ugh. Nick Ippolito, get the chance to ride the new Yes Typo this year? No, I'm trying to get one right now. Kevin, notice some of the same models of boards with different amounts of camber. Is this common in manufacturing? There's a plus minus variance of like 3 millimeters, give or take. Like, you really notice it when a company like Nitro's really good about this. If they're like, Oh, this is a flat board. Go take it. And there's a plus minus variance. Some of them might be slightly reversed. Some of them might be slightly camber, but you start to notice it. Ugh. Has thoughts on the ride, Commissioner? That thing is a fucking missile. That board is aggressive. You will feel it in your back and neck at the end of the day from all the vibrations. Eric P., why do we collectively hate dope snow? Say nope to dope. Because they don't give back to snowboarding. They do these targeted ads. They only promote their influencers. Their shit's overpriced. Like, they're like, we're cutting out the middleman and our stuff's so good. For $200, you're paying for a lower quality product than a low end 686 like basic pant. I tore them apart. They use 3M. They do like a heat transfer waterproofing on their stuff. So everyone's like, oh, it's heavy, so it's quality. No, it's heavy because you got vinyl inside, you saggy butted motherfucker. Like, the second your butt gets wet on the outside, it's pulling down because it's got this layer between where the moisture gets trapped. Like, when I was tearing apart their pants, they had pocket flaps for the rear pockets, but no rear pockets. Why? It makes no sense. Their shit was cheap. Like, cheap shit. Some poets, hey, angry, keep up the good work. What do you reckon about Gentum stick or layman stick boards? I don't even know what a layman stick board is. Gentums, here's my thing about Gentums. If you get the mass produced ones that are built in a real factory, awesome. You get their hand built one off ones. Almost everyone I know that's ever had one is like, it broke. I paid $1,000 and it broke. Kevin Clark, really loved my 2017 Rome Gangplank, but want something a little more aggressive for All Mountain Park and OK and Powder. Really hoping to stay with Rome. Any recommendations? 210 pound, size 14 boots. You got size 14 boots. Even their wide shit ain't going to fit you. Like, fuck. Well, I take that back. I mean, if you want to go directional, you could probably get away with a stale fish. But even then, coming off a Gangplank, no. There's like, 14 boot, you got to go to some of these bigger, wider boards. And you say you want something that's a little more aggressive. It's time to upgrade to a big boy board, like, might be time to go look at like a 160 ride shadow band or an algorithm or something like that. Okay. Let's see. Where else are we? JNack, the house has a 148 K2 antidote for $300 with a sale. Too much board for an intermediate all mountain rider coming from a 149 yes basic 125 pound size 8.5. It's not too much board. It's just you're going to have a learning curve with it, so you got to be aware that there's going to be. It's going to feel aggressive for the first couple times, but once you figure out how that board rides, you're going to be fine with it. Like, especially at a 148 and 125 pounds, I think you'll be fine. Anthony Drysdale, any thoughts on the Burton Hometown Hero replacement in a similar category? Yeah, you got a few options out there. I mean, to an extent, it's like Jones flagship, ultra flagship, depending on what you want for stiffness. Personally, I'd probably go look at like an Amplet Safari or a Soli Grail. Um, Nitro, like a Supra team, would kind of fit in that void, which it'll have way more snap than the Hometown Hero. Hometown Hero is actually not a bad board. I kind of enjoyed it when I wrote it. If you were doing Battalion, I guess you'd be looking at like a Goliath Plus, Goliath, somewhere in there, something like that. You could look at like a Nidecker Beta or Beta APX. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Where are we? Got a super chat here from Jack Off Beat. About to snag the Ride Magic Stick from the house for my sister-in-law, who only has 3 days under her belt. Bad idea, or you think a noob can grow into it? They can grow into it, but I think the first 3 or 4 days she rides, she's going to be miserable. Do they have any Saturdays left? Look for that instead. Let's give you a spin here, sir. Let's see. Where we go? That's about back. Ooh. Pick a random question and give it a spin. Okay, Bra Guy. Torn between the K2 Excavator and the Ride Peace Seeker on the East Coast, getting more freezing rain than POW. Okay. Excavator's softer, a little more forgiving, a little more all around. Peace Seeker is more balls to the wall, hard carves, going to charge and lay trenches. Ask yourself which one you want. Go from there. Ooh, pick a random question, give a spin. We got one coming in from our boy Tommy Bennett, the Bird Eater. Thinking of quitting snowboarding. Any suggestions? Well, you could take up professional speed eating, since you can eat whole birds. I've never seen a man dislocate his jaw like a python like you. Don't ever go to prison. They're going to have a sword fight in your mouth. But you could do that. That's a possibility. Professional video gaming. Bill Burr impersonator. You could do that one as well. Although we'd probably have to get you a footstool, because isn't he like 6 feet tall and you're 3'5"? So there you go. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Where? Pick a random question and give it a spin. Shinelinks, what do you think of the Nitro Pantera? I need to ride the new one because they tweaked it since the last time I rode it. But that board is fucking aggressive. So I like the Pantera. Like, that board is fun to ride, but I haven't been on the new one, and supposedly it rides so much different from the last time I rode it. Shop local, people. Shop local. All right, Jesse Dennis with the super chat. I'd like to see some bottom 5 vids. Make it happen. Summer is coming, and depending on what my workload looks like, that could very well be a possibility. So, pick a random question and give it a spin. Let's see. Okay, Arthur QPR, Patreon subscriber here. Thank you. Love the work. Thank you. Your thoughts on the arbor bindings? I'm looking at the Cypress, LibTech, Hot Knife, All Mountain Guy. I asked for some to ride. This is my thing with arbor bindings. Like, I don't think they're as stiff as they claim they are. The other thing is they over machine torque their screws. So like almost everyone I know that gets a pair ends up stripping a screw or two with it, which is something that still an issue years later in there. But the guy that designed the bindings, if you look at them, they have a lot of features that tie in also with bent metals redesign that they did a few years ago. So there's that. Would the Cypress work with a hot knife? Yes. Yes, it will. Ollie Slow Signs, people. All right. Curtis 500 with a super chat. If I'm testing snowboards during the summer, should I go for big snow multiple times or one trip to the Southern Hemisphere? Never been down there. Hey, if they got snow, I'd say go to the Southern Hemisphere. You're going to ride real snow, real conditions. Big snow, I mean, if you're trying to test a park board, yeah, I guess that's great. And you can go do like 50,000 laps in 3 hours. But personally, like I would go Southern Hemisphere if they've got snow and go rip it because you might get some pow and stuff in there too. Ugh. Well, Curtis, won yourself a small sticker pack. Email me info@angrysnowboarder.com and I'll get that in the mail. We're going to take a few more questions and then I'm getting out of here because it's been 2 hours and I want to go bake some biscuits with pulled pork in them in muffin tins because that's what I do now. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Shy Links. Thoughts on the Kemper Motley Crew? Got a friend looking at it to ride and then wall piece it. Dude, it's on sale on the house website. I almost bought one too to wall piece it too. Like, it's a Kemper, it's whatever, but the boards are actually made of GP87. I think that is an open mold that a few other brands use. It's probably going to ride super, super well. So, all right, Colton Buchanan, have an ultralight, a Custom X, and a Peregrine. Does a Commissioner or Peace Seeker fit in? Commissioner, no. Peace Seeker, yes. Okay. All right. Carvey Keitel, great name, Carvey Keitel. Your personal opinion on the Never Summer Pro to Ultra? Fuck it, it's a fucking turd. The Yes Worka are a better option than those two. So the Worka, you got to understand that when it's a volume shifted, freestyle focused powder twin type thing in there, it's softer than people think. Like, I actually have one I need to give away in a 150. I got to do something with that. It's been sitting around for almost a year now. But it has good edge hold underfoot, but it's just so torsionally soft. It's more playful than people think. So, all right, we're going to take this last super chat and get out of here. Thinking of adding structure to my Artifact Pro to help with the sticky Wisconsin snow. Worth it or just use cold weather wax? I mean, structure definitely helps, but the big thing with that Artifact Pro, make sure it's not sitting edge high. Those tended to sit a little bit edge high, so watch yourself with that. You might need to grind down the edges to get the base flush again. So. All right, well, all right. Yeah, no, it says pick another question for a spin, but I'm not going to do that. I want to get out of here. I'm hungry. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check out the Cultural Mystery link of the week. It's down in the description. If you're buying from the house, click the affiliate link. Use code savings, get that extra 40%. Let's buy out as much good product as we can so that you guys can be all set up. I'll be back next week with another live stream. Monday, you will get an explained video. Hopefully, Wednesday, you'll get a top 5. We'll see what mood I'm actually in. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. If you want to support us, swing over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I got a link down in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video.